Hi CC Essentials friends. Today we're talking about Chart A, which is week 1, and all the weeks because Chart A is an overview of all the charts. Okay, what is Chart A? Sentence classification. The first part at the top asks us what are the 4 structures. The 4 structures are simple, compound, complex, compound, complex. Okay, let's define those terms. What is a simple sentence? A simple sentence consists of one independent clause and expresses a complete thought. One independent clause and expresses a complete thought. We're going to make this our sign for our simple sentence. This is the independent clause. It's the rock that the sentence stands on if we have other things that are going on here. This is our independent clause. What is a compound sentence? A compound sentence consists of at least 2 independent clauses. Let's do this. 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. What is a compound sentence? A compound sentence consists of at least 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. What's a coordinating conjunction? A coordinating conjunction connects grammatically equal words or groups of words such as compound sentences, compound verbs, or compound sentences. Compound subjects, compound verbs, or compound sentences. Please give examples of some coordinating conjunctions. Fanboys, for and nor, but, or, yet, so. An acronym. Fanboys is the acronym for and nor, but, or, yet, so. A really good one to memorize. Okay, what's a complex sentence? A complex sentence consists of one independent clause, here's our independent clause again, and at least one subordinate clause, also known as a dependent clause. Oh my goodness. Yes, a dependent clause. Okay, so subordinate clause, we're going to go like this because it flows on from the independent clause. So here's the independent clause, here's a subordinate clause, joined by a what? A subordinating conjunction. What do you know? A subordinating conjunction joins a subordinate clause to an independent clause. What are some examples of some subordinating conjunctions? We use the acronym WW, well, it's not really an acronym, it's, well, kind of, www.asia.wub. What does that stand for? When, while, where, as, since, if, although, whereas, unless, because. What does www.asia.wub stand for? When, while, where, as, since, if, although, whereas, unless, because. Another really great one to memorize. Okay, what's a compound complex sentence? A compound complex sentence is a sentence that consists of at least 2 independent clauses, it could be more, and at least 1 subordinate clause. So we're going to say independent clause, joined by a fanboy, subordinate clause, joined by a www.asia.web. Remember, it could be more, but those are the minimum standards to make it a compound complex sentence. Okay, a couple of little notes. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words that does contain both a subject and a verb. What is a phrase? A phrase does not contain both a subject and a verb. What makes a clause different to a sentence? So, a sentence is always a clause, but a clause is not always a sentence. Why? The difference is both a sentence and a clause have a subject and a verb, for sure. But what the sentence can do that the clause doesn't necessarily always do is it makes complete sense and it can stand alone. Okay, let's put that together. What are the 4 structures? The 4 structures are simple, compound, complex, compound, complex. Simple, the rock the sentence stands on. It contains a sentence and a verb. Compound, a sentence and a verb, my goodness. A subject and a verb. Compound, 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. Complex, oh, what's a coordinating conjunction? Fanboys, for and nor, but, or, yet, so. Complex, 1 independent clause, 1 dependent clause, or also called a subordinate clause, joined by a subordinating conjunction. Independent clause, subordinate clause, joined by a subordinating conjunction. What's a subordinating conjunction? www.asia.web. What's www.asia.web? When, while, where, as, since, if, although, whereas, unless, because. Compound complex, 2 independent clauses, joined by a fanboy, for, nor, but, or, yet, so, joined by a dependent clause or a subordinate clause joined by a subordinating conjunction, www.asia.web. Thank you, friends.